Alright, hello, I am Kelsey and I'm here to do a little tutorial again for our adults today. So we're going to go through our Alfred book again, our Alfred Adult Beginner Piano course. We're going to go through some scales as well. We're going to start with our F scale. Yeah, let's see how we go. So our F scale is interesting because it's got a different set of fingerwork to what we're used to. It's not our standard fingerwork that we'd use, for example, for C scale or even D or whatever else. So we're going to start with our left hand first, okay? So our left hand starts with a 5 on F, okay? And the key signature of our F major scale is a B flat. So we have to keep that in mind. Every B that we play is going to be a B flat, all right? So we start with our 5 on F, and we go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 on C, and then we cross over to a 3, 2, 1. Then our 4 crosses over to G, 1, 2, 3, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then 3, 2, 1, and then back down we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 on B flat, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is not too bad, nice and simple. Let's try it one more time just to be sure. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice and simple for the left hand. It's quite standard. The right hand is where it gets tricky. So, the right hand, we're actually starting with 1, 2, 3, 4, which is something that doesn't really happen as much. Or doesn't in terms of our standard scales. And then we get into things like, your F major, we've got our B major as well, which is a bit different. There's a bunch of others. But for now, we're going to stick with our F. So, not forgetting your B flat, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 on C, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So our 4, you can't actually see that, our 4 is actually on our F. Okay, we don't go to 5 on a G. We finish her off top 4 on F. Okay, then back down we go. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4 again on the B flat. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. Cool. So it's a tricky one. Let's try it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4 on B flat. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. So it is a different one to kind of work through, and it can be a bit tricky at first. So it's important to really practice going separately before we try together again. All right, cool. So there's our F major scale. Now we're going to have a look at When the Saints Go Marching In, which is page 29 in your book. And page 27. We're going to do 27 first. So, the reason why it's on 2 is because they actually changed your melody in terms of which hand it plays. So in your page 27, When the Saints Go Marching In, that is when your right hand plays the melody line. And then in page 29, it actually swaps and has your left hand playing it. So what we're going to do is, we're going to go through the chords that we use to make that really clear. And then the new challenge will be to play your When the Saints as is. And then without looking at the next page, I want you to try and play it with the reverse. So playing with your left hand as the melody and your right hand as the chords, but only reading page 27. So I don't want you to try and look at your page 29, which has the answers per se, I guess, with the melody in your left. I want you to try it for yourself. Try and use your brain, figure it out. I think it'll be easier than you think. All right, so with our When the Saints Go Marching In, we're starting with our left hand on the C chord, okay? So it starts with our C, and that goes through up until the second line, the end of the second line there, and then we change to a G7. After a G7, it just goes back and forth. So back to our C chord, and then we go to our F chord. And then back to our C, G7, and C. Okay, so I'm going to play it for you once as it's written, and then the new challenge will be to swap it without looking. It's a bit tricky. So the reason why we do this is it's really great for your it's really good to swap your hands to change that in terms of its coordination. It's really tricky to do that, but it's really good for you to kind of use your ear and use, it's a different kind of fine motor movement, I guess you can say, so it's really good for that. Of course, you need to make sure that you're playing forte throughout. So what I recommend we do is we play it through from the top to bottom, and then when we repeat it, that's when we actually change your sound. So instead of going from your right hand starting with, the second time around we want your left hand to do it. So we swap your hands automatically. So it's going to be a challenge, but I think it'll be really good for you to kind of try out throughout the week. And it could take a couple of goes and it could take a little while to really get it, but I think it'll be really cool once you do. Alright. So, yeah, that's kind of it really. It's just a lot of going through your chords carefully and seeing if you can mimic them and change the chords without looking at that other page. So I think it'll be a really cool challenge. Yeah, so give that a go this week. And then I wanted to have a look at the donkey. So donkey is a lot more involved with your right hand playing the melody. But the tricky part about donkey is that it's the rhythm in the last line. So it's a little trickier to get that coordination between your hands and land on the right notes in your left hand, because that can be quite hard. So it's on, beats 1 and beats 3 is when you have to add your left hand, and that can be a bit tricky for a lot of people. So that's probably something really big that I would work on first when we begin this piece. So I'd suggest writing the counting in. So the way we do that is I'll grab a pencil here. We're going to go from, let me see, bar 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We'll go from bar 9. Okay, so that first bar of the third line. So you've got your first note is a dotted minim, okay, with your G. And we're going to put that as your count 1, 2, and 3, because that's how many counts the dotted minim is. It's 3 counts all together. And then that D there is going to be your count 4, okay? And then we continue, so that G is a 1, 2, 3, and then your 4 is on that D in the crotchet. Make sure that your numbers are lining up directly with each note, because that way you can really see how you fall hands together and then how you fall hands separately. So it can be a bit easy to follow. So in that third bar there, you've got count 1 when you're playing together, count 2 when it's just the right hand and your left hand has a rest, count 3 when you play together, and count 4 just the right hand, left hand rest, okay? And then your last bar there is a semi-brief, so that's just 4 counts. So this is kind of what it looks like if you're trying to figure it out at home and understand what I'm talking about. So you've got your 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you've got those rests there, and those are your 3 counts all together. Cool. So the way that last bar sounds is like this. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it can be really tricky to land in the right places there. So it's important to practice that a little more slow, a little slower than I just did, and to think about what fingers you're using and where your counts actually sit. Yeah, so I hope that helps. It's a nice little speedy lesson there. Give those little techniques that I recommended a try, and I hope to hear from you soon.